Hi there and welcome back in the Gourmet Gambit, and today we're into another classic French bistro recipe, Boeuf en Daube. You can find quite some different versions of this dish depending the different regions of France. So today we're just going to make the classic version. Of course you can do the recipe the way you like it, use some other ingredients, give it your signature. You are the chef in your kitchen. Let's have a look at our main ingredients. I got 1.5 kilo cheap cuts of beef. You can use chuck, flank, brisket, and it's also very nice to do with short ribs. We got our carrots, a few shallots, a big tomato, 4 garlic cloves. We're going to use some orange zest, about 300 grams smoked bacon from the belly, 2 bottles of a good drinkable wine, doesn't have to be expensive, and we're going to use about 5 centiliters of Armagnac to flame the meat. You can also use cognac or brandy. What we need for seasoning is parsley. You can use butter or cooking oil in this recipe, that's really up to you. About 10 juniper berries, a good tablespoon of black peppercorns, about 5 cloves, a few pieces of mace, but you can also use a few bits of nutmeg, about a tablespoon of cane sugar, a small chili. We're going to start with 1 teaspoon of coarse sea salt. Notice that the bacon is also going to salt our dish, so it's better to adjust the saltiness at the end. And we're going to use some thyme and about 3 to 4 bay leaves. And this recipe starts off the day before because we want to marinate our meat for at least 12 hours. And actually the longer you marinate it, the better it gets. So first we're going to add some thyme, about 3 bay leaves. We're just going to crack the garlic cloves. Add the black peppercorns, the cloves, juniper berries, the chili, half a tablespoon of coarse sea salt, tablespoon of cane sugar, add the meat, and I almost forgot the mace. And all that's left to do is add the wine. You really want it to be covered, but you also want to preserve a small amount of wine to give our stew a nice kick at the end of the cooking time. So for now we're going to preserve our marinade in the refrigerator overnight, and I will see you back tomorrow. We're back the next morning and we're going to separate the meat from the marinade. Pour the marinade in our cooking pot and set aside for the moment. Add some butter to your frying pan, medium heat, and we're going to sear the meat both sides. Set the heat to the maximum. In the meantime, prepare a small amount of Armagnac. If you're not familiar with the technique of flaming, I recommend you skip this part. You can also add the Armagnac directly in your cooking pot. This is going to take about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. Don't stay too close to the skillet when you're flaming the meat. See, that goes very quickly. Now you kill the heat. Add the meat to the cooking pot. Get all these beautiful juices out as well. So the cooking time is about 2.5 to 3 hours, as low and slow as possible. After 1 hour of simmering, we're going to add some orange peel. And we're also going to add our chopped tomato. Here we go. And back to a low simmer. After 1.5 hours, we're going to add the shallots. And back on low heat, of course. Use a dry frying pan, maximum heat. Add the bacon. The roasting is going to give it some very nice flavors. After 2 hours, we're going to add our carrots and the bacon. I'm not going to add what's stuck on the pan because there's a lot of saltiness in there. Then we're going to continue with the last hour of low and slow cooking. We're also going to do some mashed potatoes as a side dish, but you can choose of course any side dish you like. And we need of course potatoes for this. That's not a secret ingredient. You're also going to need a good crack of salt and black pepper. We're going to need some milk, butter, and we're going to use some herbs de Provence to give it a little Mediterranean flavor with a few drops of olive oil. Always start off with cold water to get your potatoes evenly cooked. Let the moisture steam away for a few minutes. I'm going to use 40 to 50 grams butter. Crack some salt. Crack some pepper. I like a good amount of pepper. We got our herbs de Provence. Start off with a little bit of milk, maybe half a cup to start off with. Mash the potatoes. We just want to mash them grossly. Give it a little taste test. Just need some more salt, a little bit more pepper. And I'm going to be generous with the butter. And here we go. So we're going to add a little bit wine in a bowl, equivalent of a glass, a few drops of Armagnac, some cornstarch, about a tablespoon, and we're going to add this to the stew. And this is going to give us not only a little bit more of consistency, it's also going to give a little kick of red wine and Armagnac. And we're ready to serve our Boeuf of Daube. Take a pastry circle, add some olive oil inside, just a thin coating of olive oil. We're going to add our mashed potato. Here we go. You can chop some parsley, or you can just put a few leaves on and then shave a little bit of fresh thyme on top. And so here we got our Boeuf en Daube. As I told you before, this is the basic recipe, so you can always add some of your favorite ingredients or spices. You're the master in your kitchen. So all that's left to say, my dear friends, bon appetit and see you back soon. I hope you enjoyed the video and it was useful for you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit that bell. It's a great motivation for me. And as this story ends, my dear friends, all that's left to say, bon appetit and see you back soon.